Welcome back to Say Yes to Chocolate podcast. I'm Dr. Becky.
And I'm Sarah B.
And this week we're going to talk about a topic a lot of people struggle with, and that is energy. And we're going to start with a question that a lot of people Google late at night, myself included. And that is, why in the world am I so tired all the time, even when I can sleep? And I want to say from the outset, there's nothing wrong with you if this is you.
No, this isn't just about feeling tired. It's actually about your energy for life shrinking.
And really, Sarah, a lot of it is just that feeling of being depleted.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about low energy or the feeling of depletion is that it's not just feeling low energy. I mean, it can actually be a safety issue because low energy affects your balance, your confidence, your reaction time, and ultimately how much we decide to participate in life.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of women tell us, I'm sleeping, I'm eating pretty well, I'm really trying all the things, I'm hydrating, but I just still feel wiped out.
We hear that a lot. But it's because energy isn't just about sleep. It's about how your body is functioning as a whole, from a macro level, muscles, joints, circulation, all the way to the micro level. How well your cells are absorbing nutrients, how well they're repairing, how well they're dying off and rebuilding themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so energy is usually the first signal that something needs support. Whether that is your nervous system, circulatory system, your digestive system, it's usually the very first signal, red flag, warning bell that something is awry.
So if you are listening to us today and this sounds familiar and you're like, wow, that is me, just know this is not a failure. This is really just information that your body's giving you.
Right. It's more just a permission to be like, let me listen to this. Because we're not going to start by pushing harder and trying to fix this by adding more to our plate. Mm-hmm. We're going to start by listening to what our body is asking for. And that means stopping.
Yes.
And acknowledging what exactly is going on.
Which really is actually the hardest step.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a step, and that's the reason that we're reiterating this, is because it's the step most people miss, which is why this is so pervasive in society.
And so necessary to be doing.
Yeah.
So one thing we hear all the time is I don't have the energy that I used to, and I just don't understand why.
Right. And I think the most frustrating part of that is a lot of people are doing a lot of things right.
Yes.
And it's not making a difference. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it can seem like it's even making it worse. You know, we hear, I seem to be sleeping well. I'm eating all the right things, or at least I'm eating better than I was. I'm trying to stay active. I'm getting in my steps. I've joined a new gym, or I started OsteoStrong or osteogenic loading, but my energy just still isn't there. I'm not seeing the results that I want to be seeing.
Right. And it's almost like our body's betraying us.
Right.
It's almost like we're giving it everything we think it needs, but the output is not changing.
And we already talked about how low energy isn't just a feeling. It isn't just an input. It can actually be a safety issue. But the other thing that I want to introduce is a little bit of a mindset shift around what low energy actually is, because it's not just fatigue. Potentially, it's your body slowing you down to conserve. It's your body's sign of conserving its energy. So it reduces the amount of output, forcing you to slow down to take care of it. And it's up to you to listen.
Yeah. And that's something I think that would surprise a lot of people.
Yes.
To think about that as a signal.
It's a signal. It's not a symptom. It's a signal that your body's missing something. It's a signal that your body needs support. And it's up to you to give it the attention it needs to figure out where that's lacking. That's what we're going to talk about next.
So this is where women get stuck.
Right.
Because they'll say, I'm sleeping, I'm getting 7 to 8 hours, but why am I still tired?
Well, Sarah, that is such an important question, because sleep is absolutely essential. It cannot, in every single aspect of health, but sleep alone does not guarantee energy.
That feels almost wrong to say.
Depressing, isn't it?
It is depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. But energy is how well the body is actually functioning through the day. It's a reflection of how efficient your systems are working together, not just how long you're unconscious at night during your sleep.
Sure. So what else is involved?
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So things like muscle support, circulation, nervous system regulation, balancing the fight or flight and the rest and digest, sectors of your nervous system, and then giving yourself permission for recovery. Rest. If those systems aren't well supported, or if they're not working well together, like little kids on a playground, like playing well together, the body will still feel drained and depleted. And even with good sleep, you're not going to force those systems to communicate and play well together.
Sure. So sleep is one important part of a bigger picture.
Absolutely. Sleep is vital, but it's not the whole story.
I love that idea of thinking of your energy as almost like a gas tank.
Yeah.
So you can kind of gauge where you're at in your body and what's going on. And it's giving us information and not a moral judgment.
I think there's a lot that goes on with that, right? People beat themselves up over, why don't I have enough energy? And you see your friends that are flourishing and you see your kids want you to come and join the activities and all that stuff, and you just don't have the oomph, or you fake it till you make it, which just further depletes you.
Yeah. So energy is feedback. It's really your body's way of communicating to you.
And pushing through low energy earlier in life worked, right?
Yeah.
That's why we continue to do it. And it honestly becomes so habitual that we don't even realize we are still doing it. But at a certain point, at a certain age, the body starts asking for a different conversation, and it starts to become more and more depleted.
If you ignore that conversation long enough, that messaging is just going to get louder.
Yes.
And it's going to show up in different ways.
It is. You're going to start having more and more signs and symptoms. The more you ignore the body's symptomology, or the more we put a Band-Aid on it, trying to tamp those symptoms down, the more the body recruits trying to get your attention.
Yes.
So, which is why the whole point of this podcast is to get people, women in particular, to pay attention to what low energy could be meaning versus beating themselves up about why they don't have as much energy as they want and just pushing through and faking it till they make it.
Yeah. And this is something we see all the time at our wellness center, correct? Is women especially will say, I didn't realize how tired I was until I wasn't.
Or how many things I was saying no to.
Yes.
Until I started saying yes.
Yes. And then as soon as they start feeling better, all of a sudden they realize how small their world was and how much energy they didn't actually have.
Yeah. I think you're right, Sarah, because fatigue can become so normal that sometimes it could just almost becomes part of your personality, or you just chalk it up to that's just aging, instead of it being actually a signal that you can address and change and improve.
Yeah. So when energy starts improving, that's just not about being less tired.
Correct. It's about being more engaged. It's about, when you see people that truly look like they're glowing, or they have energy, or they look like they're joyful, or they just have this magnetism about them, that's energy from the inside out. When people are fatigued and depleted and tired, they're dulled. And they're dulled on a lot of different aspects. So it's not just about not feeling tired. It's not just about not having bags or dark circles under your eyes. It's so much more than that. It's confidence. It's feeling steadier. It's feeling like yourself again. Not a different version of you, but you with more capacity, or with the capacity you used to have. You start to recognize yourself again.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, Dr.
Yes.
Becky. If one of these women would come up to you who is in that tired, fatigue, just kind of stage.
I just can't. I just don't have it.
I just don't have it. Where are you usually starting?
So the place we don't start with is doing more. I'm not going to give you a list of 10 things that you need to change. I'm not going to lecture you about you need to start a bedtime routine and getting 8 hours of sleep and having the perfect morning routine and making sure that you're meal prepping every day, and we're going to be taking these handful of supplements. We're going to talk about that.
That sounds exhausting, actually.
It is exhausting. That's the place where a lot of people start, because everybody wants a tactical, give me the thing that I'm missing, give me the strategy, the solution, the place to start, the thing to go buy.
Well, the microwave. Right?
The microwave.
Right? Like the microwave theory, right? We want everything instantaneously.
Absolutely. Everybody wants the magic pill. Everyone wants the microwave. I'm not going to give that to you, and you're not going to find that from me. So if that's what you're looking for, or it's going to irritate you, if we're not have that conversation, you need to move on.
Yeah.
Where we are going to start is a conversation and an honest evaluation of where we're at in our body. And we're going to start by looking inward, mentally, emotionally, and physically, and asking ourselves, am I stressed? Are my muscles up to my ears? Am I breathing from my chest? Am I only eating one meal a day? Am I fueling myself until 2:00 in the afternoon with a pot of coffee? Am I getting up and immediately launching into my phone and checking emails and addressing everybody else's demands before my own? We're going to just start to go through all of these different systems, and we're going to start to pick one thing to address that's going to make a difference, so that we can pick the next best thing, and then the next best thing. And unfortunately, it's different for every single person. So what you need to do, what the takeaway is from that, is take the responsibility and start looking inward to your own self and having that honest conversation. And if you want to start physically and you want to get support from a chiropractor, a massage therapist, a personal trainer, a physical therapist, going and seeing a functional medicine doctor, you take the responsibility of going to do that. If you need to look mentally or emotionally and you need to have a deep conversation with your husband or a really good friend or your daughter or your functional medicine doctor, or you need to seek therapy, that's where you need to start. If you need to clear out the clutter in your home because every time you get up and walk out of your bedroom, it's exhausting to you before the day even gets started and you're overwhelmed, start clearing out. Start with just one box of junk in your home and give yourself that minor win. So there's so many different examples that we could talk about that I'm not going to give you a clear place to start, a win for every single person, because it's so individualized.
Yeah.
And everybody's lives look completely different. So that's my honest answer.
Yeah. I love that we don't start with more, and I love that we start individualized. I mean, truly, that was my journey when I went by functional medicine, right? She asked me, notice how many times during your day you're holding your breath.
Yes.
I wasn't even paying attention that I had a breath. You know,
and we don't.
And
that's
we
what
don't.
I'm saying.
Yeah, and then also we do need to apologize. They're cutting some trees out.
Yeah, outside the
studio. And so
here.
if you can hear that, we apologize. We have no control over that. So hopefully it's not too bad.
It is what it is.
But and literally when she said that, she was like, maybe when you're driving, you might notice that you're holding your breath. Well, I noticed when I was peeling a carrot that I wasn't breathing. That I was literally stressed peeling a carrot.
You're not
right?
even giving yourself the most life-giving, life-demanding, energy-producing molecule.
Yeah.
So we could have fed you an entire fistful of supplements.
Yes.
Or told you to go and join a gym.
But
and completely missed the foundation.
So that's why I think I love and why it's just so important that each of us as individuals have to be able to either take our stock ourselves or find that help that we need.
Yes.
To get there.
And fatigue is rarely about one thing. So very rarely is about one thing. If it was, sleep would probably, and it would be easy, and it wouldn't be pervasive. It wouldn't be one of the number one most Googled things out there, and it would be easy to fix.
Yeah.
Having said that, it's usually about one of the 4 foundational things that every single human being needs to maximize, and we call them the 4 switches, if you will. And when you turn those switches on, the body starts to hum like a finely tuned machine. And the 4 switches are strength, stability, energy, or recovery.
Yeah.
And one of those switches is either off, not on, or on entirely too hard.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like a machine, like a chainsaw.
It is. Oh, yeah. Touche, like a chainsaw.
And we think of those switches as support, and we think of them as something we're going to turn back on, but not necessarily an overnight fix.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And sometimes, just because life is constantly fluid, maybe this moment in time, the one switch that you really need to turn on right now is recovery. But maybe in 6 months, when recovery feels pretty darn good, the switch that you actually need to turn on is strength and moving the body and fueling the body well.
Yeah.
You know, so it's always going to be fluid. This isn't something that's fixed, even though that is
a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey.
And then the beautiful thing about all that is energy is really one of those first things people notice.
Yes.
When we start turning those switches on in the right ratios,
yes,
that's the one thing we almost all feel right away.
Yeah.
Is that energy.
And that's
switch.
going back to that very beginning of our conversation. That is why it is so imperative that you view energy as a signal, not a symptom to be fixed, because it's a signal that something is awry in the body. And whatever that is that's awry is fixable at this point before it becomes pathological.
Yes.
And then the other thing, Sarah, is you're not broken. Your body isn't failing you. It's communicating to you.
Yes.
It's your job to listen.
So over the next few weeks, Dr. Becky, we're going to actually be talking about why this happens, what actually can help.
Some strategies.
Especially for women who want to be strong, steady, and active as they age.
Yeah. So we're going to really start to break this down and start talking about some different tools and resources and some education, things to be aware of, and then some tactical actions for you to take. And that will be probably the next 5 to 7 episodes.
The one thing I love about that, right, is like even though we all are individualized, is that we all have the same kind of foundation.
Right.
And so there is plenty of things that we can each take and tweak to make it work for us.
Absolutely.
Right? So I love that.
At the end of the day, we're all still human bodies.
Right. I love that.
Yeah. So around here, we don't start with doing more. We start by supporting one of the 4 switches: strength, stability, energy, and repair, in a way that fits our real life and is doable.
Yeah. And next week, we're going to actually be talking about why doing the right things can actually make you more tired.
Right.
And strategies that we can do for that. So be sure to join us next week here on
Say Yes to Chocolate.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Say Yes to Chocolate.
If today's episode gave you a win, something to think about, or even just a smile, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, rate, and share it with a friend.
Want more? Join our email newsletter so you don't miss a beat, and come find us on all the social channels at Say Yes to Chocolate Podcast for all the quick hints and tips.
And don't forget, you can always send us your questions or episode ideas. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep it